Hey there, Ramble Force. Chris Gamble here from the Digital Ramble. Joined as always by my co-host in Houston, Texas. I've got JJ Cannon. Hey, JJ.
What's up, Chris? How are you, buddy?
Hey, I'm very good. How's things?
Things are going well. Is that an arc going by out your window there? Or?
Yeah, we got a guest on. We got Noah.
Noah.
Some animals. We got pairs of animals lined up for today's show. Yeah.
Yeah, for those
we've had some wet weather here, JJ.
Oh man, over the weekend you and I we were hitting each other up back and forth, and you said that y'all were kind of experiencing some Texas rain over there and just having some crazy weather.
Well, we do get our fair share of rain here in the UK, and Norfolk in particular is a very wet part of the country anyway. So the least amount of rain, those high tides at this time of year, and it just combined to turn our village, town, surrounding areas into a bit of a swamp over the weekend. So we had a bit of fun wading through water.
Well, good. Glad to hear that y'all are safe.
No, we're all good. We're well prepared for it. We got Wellington boots.
Well, fantastic, mate. Yeah, man. Had a great weekend here down in Texas. We had a cool front blow through last night. We have a chilly 82 degrees outside today. And it's supposed to even drop down to the low or high 70s by tomorrow morning. So we're super excited about that.
That still sounds too hot for me, but yeah, never mind. But yeah, we had a great show last week. I was excited about what went out there. We got a good reaction to it. And what people were highlighting was, you two guys clearly know what you're talking about. And just to emphasize, 30 years plus combined from these two home tech pros. We both run busy little businesses in UK and over in Houston, Texas. And we're just sharing with you our knowledge and transferring some of that, some of the easy things, the harder things, some of the technology you should be aware of, and maybe what you should be avoiding these days, because there's a lot of choices.
Yeah, man, there's a lot of good tech. It was kind of tough to narrow it down to 3 each. In last week's episode, 6 tech items we can't live without, was a fantastic show. We want to encourage everybody to take a listen. If you haven't, please check out our website at digitalrambleshow.com, where you can see all the videos if you want to check us out on Facebook or on YouTube. And we're on 11 podcast streaming services, actually plus one. Didn't you add us on one more last week?
Yeah, so we're now on Acast, which for the UK audience, that's a very popular platform to find, host, and distribute your podcast. So we're up there. We've got the RSS feed, and you can search and find the Digital Ramble on Acast on their app or desktop tool.
That's cool, man. All right, well, you ready to get up on in this?
Yeah, this is a good episode. This is one close to our heart because over the years, I'm sure we've tried out many remote controls each, and we're gonna whittle it down to our top 3.
We'll see what our friends in the industry have to say about this one, because we've always been getting dad from those guys. Yeah. All right, hit the button, Mike.
Stay tuned.
All right. We also want to say thank you to all of our Patreons that contribute to the Digital Ramble show on a monthly basis. Thank you. And if you would like to help contribute to the show, please go to patreon.com/Digital Ramble, and you could contribute for as little as $1, preferably $5 per month, to help us, keep this show on the road, literally.
Yeah, these wheels are turning based on Patreons. No, we just appreciate that funds. It keeps us, keeps the creative juices going, and keeps the light bulb burning. This week kind of was sparked by going back to the CEDIA Expo, where we saw a new arrival to the CEDIA channel. It's a term I'm not a big fan of, but we were at the show and we saw one of the last booths we visited. We saw a new remote control, which caught our attention. In fact, it caught the attention of others who dragged us over to this stand.
There it is right there.
And this is what we found. So what have you got in your hand there, JJ?
Man, this is the Caavo remote. And, it was something that had come across our radar in the office. We had actually purchased one of these systems, and to be honest with you, it kind of sat in the box, man. I pulled it out, I plugged it up, I saw that it had a subscription fee, and that kind of turned me off a little bit to it. And then I started doing a little bit more research, and like you said, somebody grabbed our arm and said, dudes, y'all have got to come over and check this out.
Yeah, and the most inconspicuous booth at CDA, right at the corner of the show with the black cloth and the couple of screens and a couple of representatives from Caavo gave us this demonstration, and we were immediately wide-eyed as we saw the capabilities of it, and then we're kind of bowled over when they gave us the price tag.
Yeah.
Now, we'd known about Caavo. We'd known about it. It had a kind of soft launch, globally. It had been talked about on YouTube and social media, but they hadn't formally, I don't think, introduced ourselves to our industry. And it was at the CDA Expo we saw and met the team from Caavo, or some of the team. They gave us a demonstration. And since then, JJ, you've actually been using the device as well.
Yeah, absolutely. We've actually put one in a very nice high-end home, and we found a way to use it in our silo applications where everything is system local. And the price tag, like you're saying, Gamble, is you can't say no. It's almost like if that's how much it is, let's try it. I mean, and the price tax is very affordable. Right now, it's like $59.99. I even hate to say it. And then you have a lifetime subscription, and it fluctuates just depending on exactly what kind of lifetime subscription you want to get in. I mean, you might as well buy the whole shebang, which is like $120.
But explain then, it's a two-piece setup here. You've got your handheld remote, but you've also got a box, which is slightly different from other kind of remote controls. You think, well, I've got this processor. Well, this one goes that bit further. This is an HDMI switcher.
I was thinking about that in the truck, Gamble. As we were coming on to the show, I was like, you know what? They just added intelligence to a 4x1, a 4-input HDMI switch that has one output. And they put intelligence on top of it, or added it to a box, coupled it with a voice control remote that is incredible. I mean, what's super cool about this remote, Gamble, is sometimes you see images and you're like, what does that image mean? I mean, how does that relate to me? And what's neat is whenever you put your thumb or your finger on top of it, it overlays that button onto the bottom right-hand corner of your screen with the word of what that does. And actually, the buttons actually have a double meaning. And so if you hover over the bottom left one, it's volume, it's channel down. But if you push and hold it, it's the last channel. But if you don't know what it is, you just kind of put rest your finger on it, and it shows you in the bottom right hand corner. I mean, it's super. It creates some super awareness more than any other remote that I've seen have the capability of doing.
Now, in that is a very cool feature, and that's a lot of tech in the background doing that. But it doesn't have a touch screen. This is just a simple long remote, no touchscreen. Is that correct?
Yeah, because I mean, honestly, with this type of technology, Gamble, the touchscreen is not necessary. They have this really cool overlay on the television set as well, so that you can visually choose and traditionally navigate to whatever input you want to go to. But what's awesome about this Caavo is it has voice control. And so you can push and hold the button, and you can say, watch DirecTV, or search NFL football. And whenever you say search NFL football, it will query all of the different locations, all the devices that are connected through your intelligent 4x1 switch of all the NFL football content that is available and going to be available, whether it's on your DVR, if it's in your DVR's list, so something that you've recorded, or it's on Apple TV or on your Roku stick. It brings it all together, and you can say, endless amounts of opportunity to watch whatever you want to watch.
And it's those kind of features for us that push it very, very close now to the top as, of one of the top remote controls available. The price point, the features, the future as well. This is a very forward-thinking tech company. I can see them partnering up with a lot of providers here. They have this cloud service that accesses content from the service providers that gives you that intelligence when you search. They're working with the companies behind HDMI CEC, and that's your HDMI cable talking between devices and passing information like commands and power status and things like that. So this is it's the price, $59.99. You're getting a 2-item kit, the smart hub with the HDMI switcher, plus the remote control with, hover over features and the voice remote as well. It's staggering at that price point, JJ.
Gamble. The other thing is we were talking about the intelligence of this 4x1, HDMI switch. Whenever you plug a device into it, let's say it's a Roku or a PlayStation or a Apple TV or an Xbox or Dish Network or DirecTV, it auto-identifies it. It automatically learns and places the appropriate, button on the remote of where it needs to go. It's intelligent already out of the box. I mean, it's amazing. Ideally, you want to work with like a Roku or a Fire Stick or an Apple TV or, those types of devices. The other cool thing is that if you have Sonos in your house, Gamble, and I'm a big Sonos dude. I'm pretty sure you're a big Sonos dude, and a lot of our listeners love Sonos as well. But let's say you have Sonos playing in the rest of your house. It will show you your devices that are playing and what they're actually listening to in the rest of the house. You can play and pause, those different zones of Sonos in your house.
That comes up on your big screen, in your TV room, in your kitchen, in your lounge.
Yeah.
You're able to see the status of your Sonos. Group rooms together. Can you do that?
I don't know if you can group them together, but you can control groups that are grouped already.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm sure they're working on it.
Oh yeah, and this is what was clear at the expo, that they're making a huge effort to learn more about our industry and our feedback, and obviously they're going to be closely monitoring the consumers' feedback and what you, the listeners and viewers, are finding with that remote and maybe features you would like to add. So Caavo is one to check out.
Hold on, one more. One more. So we're always talking about matrices and things like that, and so the Caavo has this intelligence built into it. So if you want to see what maybe your kids are watching in the other room, it has the ability to kind of eavesdrop visually on what's happening. Or let's say you have a surveillance camera system in your house. You can hook up a Caavo up to the surveillance camera system, and now it'll bring it into the room that you're watching. So you have all your sources that are local, but you have another system that's siloed in another part of the house. You can actually, if the system's on in the other room, visually see what's going on in the other house. You can also send text to one room to the other that says, hey, it's time for dinner, and it pops up on the TV, hey, it's time for dinner. It works with that's this. Well, that's not quite how it goes, but you know what I'm saying. The ifs apps. It works with that. So if the pizza guy comes and he's delivering a pizza, it pops up on your screen and says, hey, pizza guy's here.
That's in conjunction with like maybe a Nest camera where it picks up that if motion's detected, tell Caavo to display this message.
Yeah.
That type of thing. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. We're going to go deeper into this box. We've been lucky enough to get our hands on it, and we're going to do a bit more unboxing and review of this. So stay tuned for that.
Yeah, thank you, Caavo, so much.
Or for some extra content that we put together outside of the weekly content. Now, our second choice, JJ, is one we've talked about many, many times, but it's still a firm favorite. It's still a mainstay of hundreds of installations per year that our businesses
Hundreds.
do. Hundreds, literally. And again, price point on this one is ridiculously affordable. It's a well-known brand name, and it's one that's probably got, for me, one of the biggest databases of control codes out there. Is the Logitech Harmony range of remote controls. What have you got in your hand?
Yeah, man.
That looks like the Pro, is it?
Yeah, this is the Logitech Harmony Pro, and actually this is out of their brand new hub that they have. It's the 2400 that's built to work with a variety. I mean, it's very similar, but this one does a little bit more. This new hub that they have does a little bit more. But one thing different than the Caavo is the Caavo has one remote to choose from. Whereas Logitech Harmony products, they have a variety of different remotes to choose from because, some people have different needs or have different wants and want a little bit of flavoring with their remotes. And, and the cool thing that really attracted us to the Logitech Harmony remotes is, well, one, they work. I mean, and like you said, the database, I think it's 240,000 codes that they have in their database. I mean, it's just endless. The remotes are beautiful.
Yeah.
But the price point's very flexible as well.
Well, the price is tiered because you can have a Logitech remote control without a remote control. You can put the Harmony hub, their entry-level hub, put it in your AV cabinet, put it in front of your TV, in front of your devices, and control them via app or voice. So no handheld remote, but open the app, trigger an activity, watch TV, and things turn on. The little hub blasts the commands either via Wi-Fi or infrared or Bluetooth. You can then, and I've seen that, JJ, as little as $60, $70, $80 on Amazon. It's ridiculously cheap as well. And this is a hub that not just talks to entertainment device. This hub talks to smart home devices as well. So Sonos is one, talks to your Nest thermostats, talks to your Nest smoke detectors and Lutron lighting, Philips Hue bulbs. This is where it steps up a gear for me. The Harmony has that ability to talk to not just entertainment, but talking to your smart home. And then you can add the handheld remote. So the next one up is the Companion with the non-touch screen. That's one you use a lot for maybe secondary rooms.
Yeah, we'll use the Companion for like outdoor spaces and things like that, or maybe a kid's room or something along those lines. And I want to say those guys are like $150. And it has an app that you can use as well as that voice control and then a handheld wand remote. And so absolutely, we love that Companion remote. But the one that we use the most of, man, are these Pros. These Pros are fantastic with the touchscreen up at the top. They just look beautifully.
That's where we talked about the Caavo not having a touchscreen. A lot of these higher priced remote controls do introduce a visual display on them. They're either touch screens or they're associated with buttons left or right of the screen. But the Logitech remote control is a lovely touch screen. It goes to sleep when it's not needed. It sits in that cradle, that charging dock. But when you pick it up, you're presented with activities, JJ. Is that right?
Yeah, and that's usually your go-to button. You go to activities, and if you think of it, it's like, what do I want to do? What activity do I want to do right now? And watch TV or listen to music or watch Apple TV. And just with a simple light touch of your finger, it triggers, it'll turn on the television, turn on your surround sound receiver or your sound bar, turn on your cable box, dim the lights, close the shades, adjust the climate, whatever you want that activity to do. Logitech gives you a tremendous amount of flexibility in order to do that. And the price, man, is just ridiculous.
Yeah, so even at the top end, the premium, the one we have in the UK is the Logitech Harmony Elite, which is the hub and the touchscreen remote. I still rarely see that going anywhere over 300 UK pounds. Now, I will say specifically that the Harmony Elite is not necessarily a plug and play DIY. It's geared as that, but we've had customers who have bought it for themselves and have struggled to get it to have that finesse that they were expecting to have, or that polished triggering of a sequence of devices turning on in the right order and linking up their smart home. That once you use that Logitech Harmony Elite, I do think there's a valid reason to seek out the Pro to set that up. And that's not just me trying to get work for myself. I do believe it's a powerful box. Even at that price point, you get a lot of power, but it has to be set up appropriately.
Yeah, there's a lot of pros around the country and in the States as well as over in the UK that are really gravitating and embracing the Logitech platform because of its simplicity of well, if you know what you're doing, it's simple, but it has the Logitech remote. A lot of engineering's gone into it to where if you know how to do some programming, you can really get it to do some intelligent things for your home and not have to invest a tremendous amount of money in order to get it from what we would consider legacy products that are on the market today.
Sure. Well, that one's easy to find. Caavo is a new kid on the block. Logitech's been around a long time, and seek out your Pro and ask for some of these brands. Now, our third choice is a little bit of a curveball because a lot of people will expect us to, I don't know, talk about some Pro remote control, maybe brands you've never heard of, Savant, Control 4, RTI, Crestron, and we're saying no to those. Well, I am. I'm not speaking on your behalf, JJ, but I'm saying
I've kind of said c'est la vie to that stuff, man.
Yeah.
It's expensive. The reliability of it. You have to be a good programmer, but even the best programmers still have challenges. It's just a lot of boxes, a lot of wires, and I'm a less is more kind of guy. Less wires, less boxes, more reliability. But yeah,
well,
man.
you're talking about a remote control that these are ones that have to be set up by professionals, first of all. Now, the price tag on them may not be that expensive. They may be around the $500 mark. I'm not saying the price tag of the box is expensive. What I'm saying is the labor to set it up is going to be expensive. Also, the person who set it up has had to go on a pretty expensive training course to be able to provide this service. And you're going to want to get the most experienced technician to set this up because the experience will show in the usability, the user experience, and the support and all those things that come with using a professional tradesperson or a professional installer. They've got a lot of costs to cover, and we know that because we've lived that, and it can look pretty pricey on that final invoice when your new remote control for your media room, your living room, your lounge could creep up and exceed that 4-figure price. And I believe that that's getting close to having had its day based on new arrivals and the evolution of other brands we've just talked about, so Caavo and Logitech and others that are going to come. I fear for the $1,000, £1,000 plus remote control installation.
Yeah, it was always a pain for when a client said, "Hey, I need to make some adjustments to my favorite channel list," or I'm switching from one service provider to another, and it's not as simple as you would think it to be. That's really why, Gamble, we've kind of gravitated and looked for things like this to where we can actually program from the road and easily do it. And don't get me wrong, these other products you can program from the road, but man, the time it takes for me to program this versus a legacy product is night and day. So what
you're saying, when you've spent all this money, there's a pretty high chance you're going to have to keep spending money on it. And we're not talking about subscription for services or anything like that. We're talking about having to call in the Pro because you don't get access to the software for your remote control. This is closed door. pro level stuff, you've got to call the guy, girl to deal with any quirks and issues you've got, any new additions, any expansion. And that for me is on borrowed time. It has to be, because it's just not fitting in with culture today of this, do it with me, do it for me, available now kind of mentality. We're in this Amazon culture of I want it now. And you just can't react to that with some of these other products, I'm afraid.
No. And it caused a bit of frustration for us as a business, several years ago prior to switching over. But I think our third favorite remote, is where we were going with this, and really our third favorite remote is the one that came with the box, the TV remote or that Roku remote. For me, I love the Roku remote. I think they have created just an absolute incredible remote. I mean, you can plug in headphones and listen to whatever you're streaming through the headphone jack on the remote, and controls the volume up and down on whatever you want to control. The receiver. I mean, it's
this
fantastic.
is the free remote control that you get in the box.
Part of the purchase
with the set-top box. Or with the TV. In our house, it was a bit of an aha moment. About 18 months ago, I got a new 4K TV for my own home, and it had this nice slender Samsung remote control. I plugged in my sources. It popped up saying, we've detected Apple TV and Xbox One. It gave me those little icons on the bottom showing that they were plugged into HDMI inputs. Then when I went to Apple TV, I had no need to pick up the Apple TV remote because I could navigate with the menu button, up, down, left, right, select. I could control Apple TV. Went over to Xbox. I could scroll down, select Blu-ray, select game, select settings, whatever I needed, without having to power on, a controller for the Xbox as well. And that came free in the box. And I thought, well, why? I don't need to tell because I had a Logitech Harmony. And I'm afraid to say, as much as I'm a fan of it, it's been kicked to the curb in my TV room where that TV is. I still use a Logitech in another room, but where I needed smart home control. But this all-in-one remote, it's in the box, and it's capable of powering and controlling what you've got now and what you add to the TV or your inputs in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. And we kind of had that same aha moment here as well. Particularly whenever we started understanding and utilizing HDMI ARC audio return channel, and we were able to connect HDMI to some of our Sonos amps or Sonos beams, and with the remote that came out of the box, as long as the television is set up correctly, you can control the volume of a third-party audio system. Where in the past you had to use a programmable, intelligent remote to do that, and you don't need to. I mean, there's some instances, and the reason that you would want to go with like a Logitech Harmony remote or a Caavo remote is if you don't want to do a remote juggle. And there's something to be said for that. There's nothing wrong with the remote that came out of the box, but sometimes you have 4 or 5 remotes, and not everybody can understand what remote to go to for what device, and it can be challenging to do that. And that's why we recommend using a universal remote in almost every solution that we have. Yes, the remote that comes out of the box is fantastic, but for the entire family, sometimes that just does not work. And that's why we'll go to a Logitech Harmony product, or now we're looking at the new kid on the block, the Caavo with the voice control, to where it will make it simpler and easier to find. The Caavo, I love being able to search a variety of different platforms for content. Logitech, I love using it for integrating all my smart home devices, like my lighting and my shades and all other kinds of stuff that you can do with Logitech Harmony remote. You can't really do that with the remote that comes out of the box, but the remote that comes out of the box is pretty awesome.
Yeah, we're basically saying don't discount the remote control that came in the box, because it has evolved over the last 24 months. I'm seeing a lot of the TV manufacturers embracing a smarter remote that you may still get a traditional large remote control that looks like the one you had years ago, but you're also getting this new, typically Bluetooth wand, I like to call them, for your smart TV, and it orchestrates the devices plugged in directly to it perfectly. So we're talking about price-friendly options here. The one that's in the box, zero cost. The Logitech remotes starting from £60 upwards for their hub, all the way up to £300 plus for their elite range. And then the Caavo, the crazy priced Caavo at $60, and that lifetime subscription, bundle all that in, not far over $100 for all that tech. So these are price-friendly options for our top 3 remote controls.
Gimbal, I love this episode, and this is kind of how you and I got started, was talking about these types of affordable solutions way back in the day. We are coming up, this is episode 45, and we're getting ready to come up on our episode 50. I'm so excited about that and very proud to have done, so many episodes week after week talking about smart home technology with you, man. It's been a joy, absolutely.
And for our audience, we're already planning a bit of a celebration for episode 50, and some new additions from 50 onwards, and the road to 100 episodes.
Friends, I want to encourage you. Thanks again, but I want to encourage you to check out our website at digitalrambleshow.com. Check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Like us, share us, friend us, subscribe. Please engage, and let your friends know about the Digital Ramble.
Cool, JJ. Good to see you again, mate.
Hey, mate, you take care. Stay dry over there. Get yourself a flat-bottom boat or a raft or something for you and your family, just in case. Back up.
Yeah. And as always, people, if you don't know, find that Home Tech Pro.
All right, take care, brother.
Take care.
Thanks, Digital Ramblers. You have a great week. Every month, the Digital Ramble will receive a regular source of income from supporters who've pledged through Patreon. For as little as $1 a month, having your ongoing support means we spend less time thinking about business and more time creating quality content for you.
Customized, based in Norfolk, England, are proud sponsors of the Digital Ramble. Check out our all set-up services. It's smart home installation with ease. Customize.uk.com.
If you're looking to make your basic home smart, check out digitaldelight.com/shop, where they have a variety of different smart home technology solutions that help make smart home shopping easy for you. Check out digitaldelight.com/shop.